Hello, Wasteland! Yes, welcome back, brothers! That's right, we are here to look at Gaslands UK's Car of the Month competition for January 2024! That's right, the 5th season of this fine competition, my brothers. As always, I am your host, James Hall of JH Miniatures, and this episode has been kindly sponsored and brought to us by Ramshackle Games. That's right, one of our newest sponsors, joining us last year for this wonderful post-apocalyptic party in the sand dunes. What can I say? Ramshackle Games are a fantastic sponsor, and their range of resin conversion parts, not just for Gaslands toy cars, but for 28mm scale models, for their own range of games, including the new Bogland game, which is just the wildest thing I've ever seen in my life. Honestly, if you've not checked them out, you are doing yourself an injustice, my friends. Oh yes. So, as always, a massive thank you to Ramshackle Games and their intense, burning generosity for providing prizes for first, second, and third place this month. That's right, of a £20 gift voucher for first, £10 for second, and £5 for third. So, as always, thank you, Ramshackle Games. And with a sponsor like this and prizes like these, you knew that the theme this month had to be something special. And what can I say? It's the start of a year. It's the start of the dreaded return to work and having to wake up at oh Christ o'clock in the morning and jump into a car and drive and get stuck in gridlock traffic on the motorway and the highway. Move!
And so traffic will flow evenly and nobody will have to sit in a traffic jam.
How in the name of Christ will a pedestrian cross this?
Oh, you love it, you know it. It's Commuter Carnage. Oh yes, so whether or not you take public transport, the bullet train, buses, bicycles, or if you're a luxury car owner yourself, it's all about that wonderful agony of driving to work and the often forgotten agony of driving home at the end of a long day, because who doesn't love getting stuck in bumper-to-bumper traffic for 3.5 hours? What can I say? I've been there myself. And it's always because some silly sod exploded on the motorway or just couldn't contain the venom at the roadworks and the temporary traffic lights. So yes, so for this month, Ramshackle Games wanted to see what you guys could come up with your daily commute vehicles. And what can I say? You have not disappointed. With 35 finished entrants this month. 35! What can I say? It's the start of a new year, a whole new season of competition, and you guys have gone all out. Oh yes. Commuter Carnage. How can I not start this month off strong and not talk about Clint Agius's entry for this month and his wonderful, wonderful bright yellow taxi cab of death that he's brought us here today. Oh yes. And this is a real mixed bag, isn't it, Clint? This is an everything in the kitchen sink build. There are elements of this that work so well and so nicely, like that scratch-built front ram. Mwah! Chef's kiss. Perfect. Love it. Wouldn't change a thing there, okay? Some elements of it, like the wheels, they're stock wheels that have been modified, and I like that. I like that you're willing and prepared to do that, because a lot of people don't. A lot of people just go, it's fine, it's good enough for Hot Wheels, it's good enough for me. The paint job, like the rust streaking under the armor panels and the windows, mate, that's really nice. I like that. The actual armoured windows themselves, I get you're going for the feeling of it's metal over glass, so you've painted the glass to sort of be a bit dirty and a bit dusty, but you can still sort of, it sells the illusion, but they do just look like solid windows. They don't look particularly see-throughable. Maybe paint glass blue. That's always my trick if I want it to look like glass. Just paint it blue and add some highlights. I think where this falls down is you've spent a lot of time in some areas, like the yellow of the body, the hazard stripes, the lettering, the glowing OSL effects on the engine. Wonderful. Those headlights and rear taillights, mate, you can't just paint them traffic light colours, red, yellow, green, and call it a day, right? You have to, if you're painting them to look like lights, you have to do some of that gem work, or you have to do something that makes it look like they've been smashed in. They can't just be flat colours. they are as flat as the body panels, which is fine for the body panels because they're meant to be flat. But for the headlights and taillights, come on, buddy. I mean, look at the beautiful rusting on that passenger side door, right where the seam. Like, mate, that is some good work right there. But then you just decide headlights don't matter. Honestly, mate, fantastic work, and I can't wait to see what you come up with for February's Car of the Month competition. Oh yes. But then after Clint how can I not talk about my boy, returning heavyweight champion from last year? That's right, I'm talking about the one, the only John Simpson Wedge and his battle bus for this month. Oh yes, oh John, be still my beating heart. Look at this wonderful monster of an entry. I love how all out you've gone with the barbed wire and the sort of flak anti-aircraft turrets, which I'm 100% guessing that there's something from the Titan game for Warhammer, because they've got that sort of, there's something very dark future, very Imperium of Man looking about those. So I'm guessing that they're from like an epic style game. But they sell the illusion well enough. Like, they're these great big machine guns stuck on the side, and then you've painted them the blue of like the Transit Network logo for London. Like, mate, that's good. I like that. The tarp effect on the roof, that's really nicely done. That is really nicely done, and I appreciate the fold over so you can see inside, and the paintwork that you've done inside, like the little tartan seats and the guys wearing the high vis jackets, and again that logo. Honestly, you've done some wonderful work here this month. I kind of feel like it needs like a ram or something at the front. Like, that radiator is just going to get clogged with rubbish the second it hits like a pedestrian or crashes into another car. Because buses aren't surprisingly designed to be war vehicles. The the all-seeing eye periscope security camera. It's a nice touch. It's a little out of place for me, but I can see why you've done it, and it's a good touch of humour. Honestly, John, one of your best builds to date, bar none. I think there's some little bits to tweak, like some of the panels could just be touched up a bit more because they've got a bit of the sort of one layer, one wash, calling it a day sort of feel to them. But like, you're upping your game with the highlights, you're upping the game with your scratches, your battle damage. Honestly, this is really good, John. And this is what happens when you bring you pull the madness in a bit, you rein it in. This is the level that you can create, and it is good stuff, my friend. It is really good. And then after John, we have, of course, new to the competition. Yes, let us talk about some fresh meat for this wonderful community of ours. The work of Kieran Meller for this month, and his family sedan of the Armageddon. Now, Kieran, you're new to us, buddy, so it's going to take me a while to get used to your style. But there are a few things that stand out. First things first, the conversion itself is a little basic. The wheels, I am not sure what's going on with those wheels because I feel like they're just stock Hot Wheels or Matchbox tyres, and you've put like little what almost look like little metal bin lids on them, but they're not. I get the feeling they're meant to be like Bodicea spike wheels, except all the spikes aren't there, so they're more like armoured hubcaps that cover the whole tyre. I am a fan of this. I know Colin is not a fan of this, so it's an apples and oranges sort of situation. But they're rough, and they could do with touching up at the construction stage rather than trying to fix it in the painting. Speaking of which, things like the bars over the windows, great touch. I'm a massive advocate for having bars on windows and having these hollow spaces so you can see inside the cars. But the paint of the car, the actual body paint of the car, the dust effects, the metal effects, it's all blurring together. It is just turning into a big grey, blacky, silvery blob. And that's a problem, isn't it? I mean, the armour over the windows where you've got that wonderful targeting reticule on the front and then the dead end sign at the back, the black stands out on that. So I'm guessing the body of this beast is meant to be more like a navy blue or really dark blue. It's just, mate, there's just something about taking the time to finish the construction before jumping knees first into the paint job. Like the little gun on top, like the barrel's even pointing off in a different direction to the actual body of the gun. And I can see like the use of 40k bits, and that's fine if that's what you've got. It's just more modification. And when in doubt, you know what I'm going to say, do one of those body panels in a different colour, because it adds character and story to the build. Honestly, it's not bad for a first go, and I look forward, as always, to see what else you have in store for us this year, my friend. Oh yes. And then after Kieran, if we are talking about newcomers to this competition, how can I not talk about the monstrous transforming beast from Michael Alberto? Oh yes, Michael, my friend, be still my beating heart. Look at this thing, straight off of like an old Volvo ad, isn't it, with a transforming car? Mate, I love that sort of Michael Bay-esque, and all the body panels come out, so all these rockets and buzzsaws and things can come out and obliterate things in front and behind. There's a lot. This is a very maximalist build idea. There's a lot going on. The actual modifications to the car, because I'm guessing, is it like a Prius or something that you've modified? You've changed it so heavily I can barely see the base car anymore, but it's definitely, this is not like a muscle car. This is like a family SUV, right? Honestly, you've done some wonderful modeling work, but the paint job is where this is falling apart, and I hate to point it out, but it's like, mate, you've got to go back in. Some of these, a lot of you guys struggle with okay, I've blotted in all the base layers, and now I'm just going to do one wash, one over dry brush, and that's it, it's done. And it doesn't work that way. The orange of that one guy's jumpsuit needs to be brought out more vibrant. You know, that wonderful purple dress that the female gunner on the right-hand side is wearing. Okay, it's there. It's just, it's blurring together. Am I meant to be looking at a cheerleader jumpsuit, or is this meant to be something else? I can't tell, because the paint's either too thick or it's just been dry brushed to hell like everything else, and it just blurs together. The metals, my friend, you've got to go back in over the metals. Stop doing one layer of silver paint, giving it a wash and calling it a day. There is more to painting metal than that. It's a really impressive build, and honestly, if you said to me that you ran out of time towards the end to paint it, I wouldn't blame you, because it is so intricate, and you really get that feel of motion, like all these bits could fold away neatly, and it could go back to being like a soccer mom's SUV, right? It's just, this is a timed competition. You got to have time for both. The driver and the passenger inside. Oh boy, they've been splashed by acid, haven't they? Look at those faces. Oh, whoa. You know, you can't just do one layer of flesh paint, give it a wash and call it a day. You got to layer it up. It takes time. But honestly, again, first entry to this competition, to this fine community of ours, brilliant work, and I cannot wait to see what you have in store for February's competition, my friend. Oh yes! New fresh meat for the competition, and have a look at the work of K-Ski Redneck. Oh yes, K-Ski, my man. What can I say? You submitted some photos that I just bloomed out to all high heavens, haven't you? My goodness. I'm getting sunburn looking at these pictures. But that's the magic of editing for you. I can just tone all that down. The actual conversion work here is pretty interesting, like turning this minivan into a giant tank of the streets. It's a nice build. It's a nice concept and execution. I think where this falls apart a little bit is you've got things like that very, very obviously 40k trophy rack from the Chaos Space Marine vehicle accessory sprue stuck on the front. Mate, that does not belong in Gaslands. That does not belong in the Apocalypse. Unless those guys have gone and raided a science fiction convention and stole some cosplayers' stuff and stuck it on a spike like that. That doesn't fit in here, my friend. My guy, what are you doing? Get that off there. You know? Like the rest of the conversion work is brilliant. Like the tank tracks are great, the actual rams are great. I feel like that front almost bulldozer scoop. I feel like that's meant to have something in it because it almost looks like it's got the teeth of like a crushing, mechanism, but I can't really work it out. Like it doesn't quite. I don't know, maybe it's because it's all painted a single shade of grey and washed, and that's it. And that is a fundamental problem. You can't just give it one shade of silver paint, give it a wash, and call it a day. Come on, my friend. It's just about going over, picking out the highlights, putting some scratches in there, putting some rust lines in there, and elevating it to the next level. But no, for a first time coming to the competition, I like it. It's just all the little fiddly extra bits and using bits appropriate for the scale. Get that 40k trophy rack off of there, alright? I can't wait to see what you have in store for the rest of the year, my friend. But let us have a look at the work of a returning heavyweight champion from last year. That's right, your friend and mine. The work of the one, the only Adam Pollard for this month. Oh, yes. Adam, my friend, buddy, what can I say? You've really outdone yourself this month. I love the gigantic iron girder bumper at the back of this thing. Like, my goodness, you'd get a dent in the fender bumping into that, wouldn't you? Although I do wonder about the sheer weight hanging down at the back of this vehicle. I feel like that might be a little too much for the suspension to handle. But that said, mate, honestly, what a wonderful bit of work this year. The rusting, the chipping, the paint effects you've got going on here are beautiful. However, I would ask, what really about this jumps out at you as the theme of Commuter Carnage? Because I get like this is just a standard kind of, car that people would own and drive. It's not like a race car or a war rig or something like that, but it just feels a bit generic, doesn't it? Like it's not, there's nothing that really jumps out as, I mean, okay, let me ask you this question. Adam, is this your car? Have you literally just done your car for the month and there you go? Because that would make a lot of sense. I'd get that. Something tells me that's not the case, however. I do like the mine dropper at the back. I think it looks like you've done some sort of freehand. Was it say like four ift or something? 4-1 FT. Four lift some. I don't know. But honestly, mate, it's a great bit of work. I just wish this sort of embodied the theme a bit more. Wonderful build, wonderful paint job execution. But what about this is your daily commute, Adam? It's a solid piece of work regardless, Adam. It is fantastic to see you starting this year off strong, my friend. And as always, I cannot wait to see what you have in store for February's Car of the Month competition. Oh yes. And finally, my brothers, let us see out this month with the work of a brand new contestant to this fine, august competition and community of ours. The work of the one, the only Sabertooth Creations. Oh yes, and his off-road battle taxi of the Armageddon. What can I say? What a way to make an entrance, my friend. This is nice. This is really good. The extra armor that you've added around the wheel wells, like using a solid bit of plastic tubing and then cutting and snipping that down, I've done that myself. I've done that same trick before myself, and it does work. Although you do have to do something about all the teeny tiny little holes, unless you like that effect, of course. But I can see you've gone around with a knife and tried to put in some battle damage, and that's the thing. The material, sometimes you have to fill in the blemishes, as it were. The paint job is robust and to the point, although I kind of wish, if this is leaning into the taxi look, that you added some like checker stripe patterns along the sides, just because, your stereotypical New York taxi cab has that yellow and black and white checkers running alongside it. Honestly, the build is on point, the ropes in scale, the armor panel on the windows, oh my goodness, let's see some bolts and rivets on there to hold it in place. But you know what, for a first time entering the competition, fantastic work, and I look forward to seeing what else you have in store for us, my brother. Welcome to the Wasteland. Oh yes. It is time to talk about a new and yet returning fan favourite of this competition. That's right, we now have the spanner and spoon of praise and punishment. Oh yes, the chrome spanner to someone who shows a build that is truly a classic of this competition. And of course the wooden spoon to give someone a gentle nudge when we think they're not performing at their best, shall we say. So let us start with this month's Chrome Spanner Award, which can only truly go to one man, one madman of the Wasteland, Molinaro Dominique. Oh yes, what can I say, Molinaro? This, oh baby. Like, I'll say that when we get to the judging, right, like, this was a shoo-in. This was so close to taking first place. But mate, it is a wonderful build that you've brought to us, putting the explosive into explosive ram. Look at that wonderful rust, look at that wonderful flaking texture on the body of this beautiful Citroen of the Armageddon. Like the scratch built, the customization in this, the crash barrier that's been turned into an armoured windscreen, the mattress that's lashed onto the body. Oh mate, Molinaro, my friend, as always, it is good to see you take part. And it knocks me for six every time I see your builds because they're so good. They are so good. You are a perfectionist when it comes to these rusty armor panels and these wonderful textures that you get. Rust so good you could scrape it off and eat it. Oh yes. So, lavishing Molinaro Dominique in the praise for this month, it is now time to turn our critical eyes to the winner of the wooden spoon this month, who is, of course, oh, it breaks my heart, David Go, my friend. To turn a PT Cruiser into this burgundy, rusty... mate, come on, you are better than this, David. Like, it has such a feel of the lastminute.com, doesn't it? Like, what am I even looking at the back? Like, you've got the extra tyre on there where you've done one coat of black paint for the tyre, and you've not even bothered to go around the hubcap and be like, oh no, I went over it a bit with the black paint, better clear that up. Like, no, sod it, one layer done. What is that gun? A radiation spewer? I've got no idea. It's just a big funnel and a bit from an e-liquid bottle, I guess, and a toothpaste tube cap on the roof. Like, mate, David, what is this? The headlights just painted on. You've picked out none of the panel lines. I'm sorry, you did a wash over the car which picked out some panel lines. The metal's all the same colour. Oh, come on, David. Come on, my friend. Lowest possible effort. Winner of the illustrious wooden spoon for this month. You know you're better than this, my friend. I love your work, but this, come on now. But yes, that's it, my friends. After looking at the spanner and spoon of praise and punishment, you know it is time. It is time to announce the winners from this month's competition. So, without any further ado, my brothers, start the drum roll, because for the first time in the 5th season of this competition, the winner of Gaslands UK's Car of the Month competition for January 2024 is Matt Whittam! Yes, congratulations, Matt. Come on down. Let's see what beautiful entry you've submitted for us this month. Honestly, like, you gotta think, what kind of build would it take to knock out the work of Molinaro Dominique? Because that, Oh boy, there's a reason why I got the chrome spanner for this month, because that is a grade A build from Molinaro. But here we are with the S tier, my friends. Oh yes, absolutely maximalist for detail this month. You know, what can I say? Losing car of the year for 2023 must have had an effect on him, because he has started this year off so beautifully strong. And the level of custom work that has gone into this build. We get what every single build in this competition is a one of a kind. But mate, this is going the next level. And you look at these work in progress shots, and it's not just, he just 3D printed all that talent just came off of a machine. Look how much of this is resin and metal and wood and fabric and string and thread and all the different materials under the sun, because he has done this by hand, my friends. He has crafted this beautiful street cleaner, highway maintenance truck carrying an enormous office printer, the kind that I use at work. One of those beasts on a pallet to clobber the opposition as a wonderful wrecking ball and chain. It is a magnificent piece of work that you have given us this month, Matt. Honestly, I love it. I love how just the tiniest details, like you strip away all the builder's tools, like just you focus on that jerry can on the side, that wonderful Camsel Designs jerry can, and that Camsel Designs gas canister, and you went, you know what, let's make these holsters match. Let's custom build a little holster for that gassed can as well. And you know what, it's that level of detail, it's that level of conversion work, of using 40k parts like that bit off a Space Marine Rhino kit, the searchlight back, right? Using all these wonderful bits and bringing them together with the paint job, with the rust work, with the streaking grime, with the bits of cork that have fallen out of the caulking gun. Like, honestly, Matt, buddy, this is what we're talking about. So, a massive congratulations to Matt Whittam for winning first place this month, and a £20 gift voucher is on its way to you, my friend, and I'm sure you will make good use of it. Oh yes. And if Matt is in first, as chosen by the lords, the admin of this fine competition, then who's on second? Well, I can tell you right now, my friend, blasting into this competition at the speed of a bullet being fired from a gun, in second place, as chosen by Ramshackle Games, is the one, the only, Nathan Coolmans. Oh yes, my friend. Oh, I love it. I love it. It is by far the best train of the Armageddon that I have seen in my life over the course of what, like the last 7-8 years that we've had this renaissance in the Wasteland. Honestly, oh boy, this is a good one. The paint job. If you guys get a chance, read his posts on how he did the paint job for this, because it is just a beautiful work of art. It is so nicely done. The machine guns coming out of the nose of the cockpit, the gigantic jet engine just flaring out the back. Nathan, buddy, you know we love it. Enjoy the £10 gift voucher that's on its way to you, my friend. Oh yes. And finally in third place, because who doesn't love a giant London bus of the Armageddon? That's right, we are talking about the one, the only Rob Churchill's entry for this month. Oh yes, oh Rob, what a work of art you have submitted here today. I love all the little custom bits, like those wonderful tank tracks that you've made, these scratch-built tank tracks. I've got to say, Ramshackle Games, they really love those bits. They're so nicely done. And all the conversion work and the ram on the front and the hazard stripes, and you've masked them off with tape because that's the right way to do it. Oh yes, my friend. Enjoy the £5 gift voucher that's on its way to you, my friend. So, yes, thank you all once again, my brothers, for tuning in this episode. I know you wish that I could talk about every single one of your builds, but sadly there is not enough hours in the day. Not until the apocalypse starts, and then we can really focus on what matters, which is talking about our toy cars. Oh yes, no, this is also why we have launched the brand new Feedback Friday feature that some of you have already started using, which is really good to see, which gives you all a chance, even if I can't touch on every single build in the episode, there is an open forum for you guys to come, post your builds, and just ask for some honest critique and feedback from not just members of the admin team, not just my voice, but also every single previous Car of the Month and Car of the Year winner is there to talk about your build, to give constructive feedback and advice, to tell you what it takes to elevate your build to the next level, to raise the bar, and maybe one day take the championship title yourself. Oh yes. As always, thank you to all the members of the admin team for their hard work and dedication that goes into the creation not just of these videos, my friends, but also keeping this competition and this community afloat, which is, of course, Matt Reeve, Colin Harvard, David Bousset, and Darren Phillips. Oh yes, not to forget mentioning myself, James Hall of JH Miniatures. Which, as always, can I just say, if you've enjoyed today's video, why not leave a like and a comment and subscribe to the YouTube channel? Why not head on over to Big Cartel and buy some of the merchandise? You know what? It's been a year and I still haven't received one of their mugs yet. Hashtag get James a mug. Because I tell you, I'm so jealous. I'm so jealous of you guys. And you share pictures on social media of your mugs. Oh man, I'm just boiling in jealousy, I tell you. No, as always, thank you all for watching, boys and girls. I hope you've enjoyed the new format and the changes that we've brought to this video and this competition. And I will see you in the next episode. Thank you all for watching, my friends. And goodbye, Wastelanders.